and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be doing a digital design as you see here. Let's get started. Hello, today we are going to do an image designed completely in Silhouette Design Studio. This image will be able to be used as a water slide decal. You can print it as a sublimation print. You can create stickers with it. Whatever you would like to do, you can create a file to do that with. So you can see I've started with my two words that I'm going to be using, mama and tried. I'm going to move tried out of our way for just a moment while we set up and work on our first word. So I'm going to change this font to a font that I like. You have an option right up here, kind of to the left center, and you can type in the font that you'd like. Today I'm going to be using a font called Superstar, or you can simply click your word. So now I have tried, and over here on the right hand side you can open up your font panel. It's called the text style in Silhouette, and you can again search by searching here, or you can simply scroll through and find the font you want. I'm going to go to my H's. I know the font that I want, and it's called Hello Fabulous. So I'm going to scroll up until I get my Hello Fabulous, and I'll include it there. So now that I have my two fonts and for each of my words selected, I want to kind of size them and get them appropriate. Now in Silhouette, you can see that I have some dead space above and below my word, and I want to eliminate those for more accurate, true to size. So I'm just going to right click and click the word weld, and then I'm going to group it all together because that makes each of the letters individual and I want them back as one. So now you can see I've eliminated that dead space and I have more of a true to size word. And I'm going to make it rather large for the purpose of the video so that you can see it well. And then of course, once you're done with your design, you can create it to be whatever size you need for your project. So I have my word mama, and now I want to work with my word tried. Because this is a cursive font, I do need to weld it. So I'm going to do just as I did before. And to ensure that my little dot on my I stays, I'm going to right click and group all of these together as well. I'm going to find the size of this that I want. Now you can see I do have my lines on to show me when I'm in the middle and if I'm right or left justified. I want it lined up over here to the right. So you see that blue line appear there. That tells me that both the word mama and tried are aligned to the right. And then I want to have the center line appear as well for me. So now I am right, and my text box with the top of my letter D is in the middle of my word. And I'm pretty happy with that. I do think I want my word tried to be just a little bit bigger. So we're going to click and drag and get it back into place. It's called snapping it into place. And that looks good to me. So, excuse me. I always like to duplicate what I'm working on and hold it off to the side. And I'll just change it so you can see it sitting over there. And the reason I do this is because many of the times when you're working and doing some slicing and some cropping and intersecting, your original image is going to change. And so you want to always make sure that you have an original file that you're working on, just for time's sake, because we know you could always retype the word, but we want to save time here. So with my word tried, I want to go ahead and offset this because I want to be able to sync this word into the first word, and that's going to require an offset. So when I offset, I really like to use some color because it makes it easier for me to have a visual of how big my offset is or isn't. So over here on the right hand side, I'm going to open the offset panel. With the word that I want offset, which is tried, I'm going to click the word offset in that panel. And you can see it gave me a little red line outlining. Well, I want to really see what this is going to look like, so I'm going to change the color of that so that I can see what my offset looks like. And I do want to change my offset to about probably a 0.60, so 0.060. And you can see I did that here. Don't click apply yet, because if you do, you can't change it. I'm just going to click off in the box here. And you see that changed and shows me what that's going to look like. I think we'll go a little bigger, so I'm just going to click my up arrow, and I'm going to end up leaving it at a 0.075, as you see here. So I'm going to click off that. Now, go ahead and select that original word, and in your upper left-hand corner, make sure you have the pink one, and we're going to drag it off to the side. And we're going to group these together, because if I don't, that little dot over the I isn't going to be all one piece. You see how it has its own box. And again, we're going to right click and we're going to click group. Now I'm going to bring this back and I'm going to put it back right and center of my word. And now I want to create the cutout of this into the word mama. So I'm simply going to select both words, mama and tried, and I'm going to come back over here to the panels on the right hand side, and you'll see a square with a circle, and that's your modify panel. Go ahead and click on that, and we're going to click the word subtract. And when we do that, you see that my offset has gone away, which is perfectly fine. But now I have all these little pieces and my word looks jumbled up. Now I go ahead and go in and delete these teeny tiny pieces, because I know if I choose to use this as a cut file, an SVG, those pieces are going to be nearly impossible and they're not going to make a difference in my end product. But now if I select this, you notice I only get the M. I need to drag a box around all of it and put this word back together by grouping it. And now that I have it all grouped together, we're ready to move on. So you can see if I change this word to black and bring in my word tried, you'll see that now, because I sliced the offset, I actually have a nice shadowing effect here around my word. Let me zoom that in for you so that you can see it. You see I have this beautiful cutout. It has been offset and cut out of the word tried. So you can now use this as a cut file. You would cut your word mama in whatever vinyl that you would like, and then you could cut tried, and they'll lay on top of each other beautifully. There's a couple reasons I do this. When I do it mainly because if I do mama and tried without cutting it out, so let's drag this one in as an example. If I do it like this, oops, let's bring that tried back to the top. I'm going to need to do a layer of epoxy when talking about making a tumbler or piece of resin art. I'm going to need to do a layer of epoxy after the word mama, because if I layer tried on top of it, all of these lines, like here and here and here, are going to show through on my word tried. So instead of having that happen, I just simply like to cut it out, and I can apply this decal all on one layer which ultimately will lead to a thinner, lighter final piece. So now that we have this done, I want to take it one extra step and design something that could be used for sublimation, sticker making, decals, water slides. Let's change it up just a bit. So I'm done with these. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these because my word is done and my work is done and I don't need them. I'm going to move my tried off to the side. And now typically you would just go to File and click Merge if you want to add anything. If you click File and Open, it's going to open it into a new document such as here. So I'm just going to copy it. You can do it whatever way you want to, whatever works best for you. And I'm going to paste it in here. Now what I need to do is ensure that this image is big enough for my word mama to go over. So I'm going to send it to the back, which I use right under the word design are where you can send your images to the front and back. And that way I can line this up and really make sure that my word is going to be filled with whatever print it is you're using. You don't want to change the size of mama because you have it sliced out for the word tried. And that looks good to me. So I have the word mama selected and I'm going to send it to the back again. Because if I don't send it to the back, I'm only going to end up with the word mama. I want the word mama to be in this pattern, so I'm going to select both. I'm going to go back to that modify panel and I'm going to click crop. And now I have the word mama that is in sunflowers, and I can bring in my word tried. And of course, we're going to want to change this color scheme. And that brings up a couple great points. So let's change it. And I'm simply going to select the word that I want to change. And I'm going to go up here to the upper left where that coral color is. And I like to use the picker tool here just because it definitely gives me a color out of what I'm working on. And I'm going to try this green. I do like that. I really think that looks great. But if you see here, I've got a red outline all the way around my word. Let me zoom in so you can see that. You see how I have that red outline all the way around my word? If I print this, it's going to give me that color. I want to get rid of that, and it's simple by clicking it and making sure that your cut line is the color of your text. And now I've gotten rid of that. So now we're ready for this to go off to be added to whether it's a water slide, a sticker, a sublimation, whichever you'd like. You would just export this as a PNG file, and that you would want to be at least 300 DPI or more. Preferably, if you're going to be printing it larger for sublimation, a 600 to 800 DPI is much better. And that DPI is dots per inch. So now that I have this here, I want to show you what this would appear to look like on a dark background and how we can make it stand out even better. So I'm going to make this box black so that you can see its appearance. And there it is, and it would be vibrant and beautiful, but one tiny step turns this into something that's going to give you dimension and layer to be able to have this pop off a little better. So let's move our black box out of the way. We're going to select both the tried and the mama, and we're going to group them together. So I'm just, oops, I need to select all of them and group it all together. And now I want to have it selected, open your offset panel again, which is the star underneath modify, and I'm going to click the word offset. Once again, you see that box going around. I'm going to have this offset be very tiny. Very, very, very tiny. So I'm going to go like a 0.020. And that has a 1 in there somehow. 0.02 and change that 5 to a 0. I'm going to click off and you see that change. Now, without unchecking this box, I want to come up to the color. Now, we know printers don't print in white, so we want to make sure that we have it like an off-white, just a shade off, so that it will give you that outline, that print. And I'll show you now what happens when we put it on that black background. Do you see how much better that pops off and sets the difference from it? It definitely makes a difference for you. Now, if you're not printing this and you'll be putting this on a vinyl decal, you can simply move this out of the way, make sure that everything is still grouped together, which it's not, so we are going to group it. And you could cut this decal in a white or a lighter color that you choose, and then print this as a water slide and lay it on top of it. So I hope that this has helped you, and I hope that you guys enjoyed these kind of tutorials as well. I look forward to seeing if you create one of these. Please tag me so that I can see what you've done with your work and your pretty new designs. We'll see you again on the channel soon.